Hi, you guys. This is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Power Book 2 Ghost. So it starts out with Tasha and the family all singing happy birthday to Tariq. It's his 18th birthday. Just blew out the candles, and then they get a knock at the door, and it ends up being Raina. And I'm like, wait a minute, because when I first saw it come on, I was like, is this old? But then she said 18th birthday, and I was like, wait a minute now, is this heifer out? Like, what is going on? Were they able to somehow frame Tommy? No, y'all. Tasha was having a whole dream. But anyway, in this dream, Raina came to the door, and it's as if Raina never died. And Tasha was talking to her, and she is like looking like, what is going on? Like, she really is trying to understand how she's there. She's like, how are you here? I don't understand what's going on. And Raina looking at her like, Mom, what are you talking about? Anyway, am I, on time? Like, what's going on? So she was like, oh my gosh, baby, I love you. I miss you so much. I love you. And it was talking about how she wished she could have been there and all this other stuff. And so she looking like, I love you too, Mom. Did Tariq beat me here or something? Like, did y'all already, get the party started or whatever? And eventually Tasha woke up. She woke up, she ended up calling Tariq, because real life is really happening right now. She's in prison. She wishes that all of her children were there, but no. Talking to him, and he was like, thank you for the birthday wishes. And she was like, it's your birthday, and you're going to have to come and see me. And so he was like, I will. I just can't come right now. I got to study, and I got to write a paper. And so she was like, okay, well, don't forget about me. Y'all, he got off the phone with her and ended up meeting up with Kane. Kane had to go and pick him up because Monet wanted to see him. When he got to the house, Officer Ramirez was leaving. And always, I don't know how this always happens. This is crazy how Kane will be rolling back up to the house and he sees Officer Ramirez leaving or going into the house. And then he becomes infuriated. And I'm just like, what is going on? How is he the one, out of all the kids, how is he the one who always catches this happening? So, of course, he mad. And Tariq over there reading. And he was like, man, what are you doing over here? And so Kane was like, I want to know the same thing. He was like, that don't make no sense. Why would he be here in the daytime? So, he, of course, really, looking like, nah, bro, what is going on? Like, you really doing the most now. So, Tariq is just spewing out all kinds of facts. And he over here looking like, yeah, I need to know what's going on. So, he ends up leaving. The man had left. And Tariq go in the house. And they talking. And Monet wanted to see him because she wanted to know what was the meaning of the drawing and who was the dude that Drew ended up drawing. Get it, Drew and drawing? Let me stop. I'm corny. Anyway, and y'all, it was a mess. I was just like, girl, it's not that deep. That's what I'm saying to myself. Like, girl, so why are you acting like this? Like you don't know what his tea is. But anyway, so Sax popped up at Tamika's apartment, her house, whatever she live in. And of course, he doesn't want her to testify because if she actually goes up on the stand, then it's going to be over. It's going to be curtains for him because she's going to tell everything he told her. So, I mean, she had no loyalty to him at this point. Why would she risk her license for him? Like, no, people don't understand. I don't understand why so many people have gone to school for all this stuff, all those years, took the bar, did all this. Like, you have to pay money for you have to pay money. People don't understand. You have to pay money to sit for these tests, these examinations and such. You got to pay good money, hundreds of dollars each time you sit. And I already told y'all before, one of my exes, the ex that I keep telling y'all about that I had that lived in Huntsville, he had a cousin that at the time that I actually met this cousin, he'd already taken the bar 7 times. 7 times. That's money. Don't nobody have time to be sitting up here going to school all those years, which ain't cheap. And then you got to sit for the exam. Like, no, you got to pay for the test. And you got to pay to sit. Like, I know that's how it goes for social work licensure. Because I had to pay to sit for the test, and there were two separate fees. I had to pay $400 and some every single time I took the test, and I've taken it 3 times. And we will have to get into the logistics of that foolishness at another date and time, because I cannot. It's just a lot when it goes into stuff like that, and I just don't understand how people are so easily willing to just throw that stuff away to be corrupt. It's like, that's stupid. I don't understand. But anyway, so she just straight up told him, I ain't got time, I'm not doing it. And if they end up summoning me and I actually end up having to go up there and testify, oh, you going down. It's gonna be a wrap. She gonna have to go ahead and say, he told me that he was at Truth that night. It is what it is. So he looking crazy, and I'm like, oh well, you'll be all right. Y'all know I can't stand him, so he'll be all right. Monet is, she basically trying to make it seem like she teaching her daughter the game, but I feel like it was trash. I wasn't here for that part. That part. Basically, she sat up there and was telling her daughter that she has to control these men, and this is how you control people. This is how you control these men. And if you make them think that you have something to offer outside of sex, they're gonna want to keep coming back. They're gonna be addicted to you and all this other stuff. I mean, that's kind of true, but at the same time, the way that she was teaching her is very toxic, and I wasn't here for it. And oh boy, Officer Ramirez popped up on her. And so Diana was like, well, if you got all these people so trained, why is it that he popping up over here unannounced? And so she was like, look, I got that handle. I'm going to show you something real quick. Watch this. So old boy came to the door. She stood there waiting on him to come to the door. She didn't open the door. And so she was like, what are you doing here? I already told you. Wasn't no reason for you to pop up over here. Why are you popping up on me? You don't run nothing over here. Like, went off on the man. And he looking like, what are you talking about? Like, she was talking crazy. Like, that's how stupid this whole situation to me was. And he was like, I can't just see you. Like, I just wanted to lay eyes on you, basically. And she just set it off on this man. Y'all, I was not here for that part, but whatever. And then when he left, she thought that she done did something. And I was looking like, Diana, please don't be dumb like your mama. I ain't here for it, but whatever. So anyway, of course, as usual, when Kane was bringing Tariq to the house, he saw this happen. I'm like, why is it every time Kane leave the house and he come back, he always catch this man coming from the house or going into the house? Of all the kids, he the one who see this go down. Why? Why though? But anyway, Monet wanted to talk to Tariq to see if he knew who the dude was, whose body that Drew. You saw what I did there. Anyway, and the way she said it, it was kind of like, what is going on here? She's trying to make it seem like she's outraged and upset, and he ain't had nothing like this until he came up to your college. Y'all, Tariq ended up meeting up with Drew after that and was like, your mom approached me about some drawing that you had and all this other stuff. And so he was like, look, Drew was dying laughing. He was like, man, my whole family know about me. My whole family know what I do. They know what it is. My mama was just testing you. So, you know, now Tariq can kind of rest easy as far as that is concerned. So I was like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. Saxe met up with his raggedy niece, Riley, and he was trying to figure out, you know, what other angle he can pull, because nothing has been able to come out of when she actually went to that party. And so she was like, well, I mean, I've been spending a lot of time in their room, and when he's there, you know, I'm over there like a whole lot, spending time with Braden. And I overheard him the other day on the phone talking to his grandmother, and she asked him for money. So of course Saxe was like, well, that don't make no sense. Normally that's the other way around. And so he straight up told her, look, don't say nothing to him, just listen. You're just there to observe, and that's it. Do you understand me? And so she was like, yeah, I understand. And I'm like, whatever. So anyway, Tasha has told her son, look, you've done enough. I'm going to take over from here. So she wanted Davis to actually, you know, keep Tamika from getting on the stand, because eventually, you know, everybody is connecting the dots. Everybody, meaning Tariq, his mama Tasha, meaning Tariq, and Saxe, they have all connected the dots, and they know that if Tamika gets on that stand, it's over with for all of them. Tariq gonna go to jail off rip. It's like it ain't gonna make no sense because in turn they're gonna be like, Saxe, what is going on here? And then he gonna get up there and he gonna be like, well, I saw him at Truth too, so it's gonna be like, all right, now one of y'all did this. Who did it? Okay, what is it? What is it hidden for? We need to know what's going on. And it ain't gonna make no sense because all this time Tariq trying to make it seem like, oh God, oh my gosh, my father is gone. Y'all remember what happened on Power? I was dying laughing like, bro, you just killed your dad. It's so terrible. And you try to act like you are so hurt. I cannot. So anyway, but yeah. Tamika straight up told him, look, you can save your breath. Whatever you're talking about, I ain't trying to hear it. Because if they ask me to get up there on the stand, you are as good as done. So you might as well get ready for it. You might as well get ready for that. Is something on my teeth? Yeah, it is. Pardon me, excuse me, everyone. Because I was like, what is that? And I'm blind, y'all. I'm blind. Because I ain't got my spectacles on. I ain't got them on. But I'm going to have them on in a minute, though. Those who know, know. But anyway, Tariq ended up going to Jabari's class because, you know, that actually is one of his professors. He was late, of course. Telling y'all, I don't know if he's going to ever be on time for anything in his life this season. But anyway, he walked in late. Jabari was in the middle of teaching. As soon as he walked in, Jabari, you know, of course, recited that famous line, to be early is to be on time, and to be on time is to be late, and to be late is to be whatever. I forgot the rest. But yeah. And he was like, I'm sorry, I was late. And he was like, the paper, the 15-page paper, was due at the beginning of the class. Now it's 25 pages. So Tariq mad, and he went and sat down. But after class, he wrote up on Jabari and was like, I'm really sorry that I came late, but I had a lot of family stuff going on. And Jabari ain't trying to hear that. He was like, look, we all got stuff going on, but you need to understand that you as a black person, you can't sit up here and be late for everything. And, you know, you ain't doing nothing but perpetuating the stereotype of black people of not being on time and doing everything and being late for everything and all this other stuff. You already know we got to do the most because we black, but you making black people look bad. Jabari done went all the way off on this boy. I was like, oh Lord, sir. I mean, you're telling the truth, but oh Lord, you ain't have to set it off like that. But yeah, he gonna have to turn in a 25-page paper, like right now. So anyway, Davis told Tasha that he's not backing down because she thought that, you know, she was gonna handle it by telling him, look, I don't want Tamika to be on the stand, so make that happen. And he was like, yeah, she's gonna get on that stand. I said what I said. I'm your lawyer, bye. And I was just like, oh my gosh, sir. So Drew and Tamika met up. Drew and Tariq. Well, I said Tamika. Drew and Tariq met up, and Tariq was like, man, your mama rolled up on me about some drawing that you did when you was at my school and wanted to know who the dude was. And so Drew was like laughing down, and he was like, man, my whole family know my tea. My whole family know how I am. My mama was just, you know, teasing you. You know, she was trying to, you know, get a feel for you. She was testing you. And so he was like, oh, okay. So Braden went to this liquor store. Apparently it's either a corner store or a liquor store. I think it's a corner store. This corner store has like all of the liquor that you could possibly want. Like all the brands, they got all of them. And that heifer Riley is with him. So instead of her being quiet, she's steadily asking all these questions. Wanting to know, like, you know, all this personal stuff about him. And Zeke ends up rolling up, and he was like, hey man, what's going on? How you doing? Whatever. How you know about this spot? Like, this must be like a spot that you have to like look up on. Like, there is a spot here. It's this store here. When I tell you, whenever I do have little things that I'll drink from time to time, I'll post it, and people be like, where do you get that from? Because nobody has ever seen it anywhere. It's literally one store here, and it'll have all this random stuff. I thought that I was going to have to pay like some kind of alcohol, shipping tax, and all this other crap for like something as simple as like Jack Daniel's like beer like that. And I was just like, like I drink like fruity, like really fruity stuff or whatever. And it was stuff that I never seen anywhere. And I was like, what in the world? But yeah, every place has a place like that, at least one. And there's only one place like that here. And when I do have a taste for a little bit of something every now and again, like if like there's a big game or something, and I want to drink something, and it's like 5% or 8% alcohol, ain't nothing. I don't drink like that, y'all. I really don't. So it is what it is. But we got a spot like that. So him and Zeke was talking. He was like, man, I'm throwing this birthday party, this surprise birthday party for Tariq. And because it's his birthday, man, you need to slide through. He was like, man, I don't know. And Zeke was reading a little bit, basically talking about, all the people that's going to be there is going to be old heifers that, he probably already ran through, and he needs some fresh meat. So he was like, I don't know, I might slide through, but I don't know about all that. He was kind of eyeing Riley, and Braden wasn't here for that. But he was like, man, but you welcome to slide through. It's going to be good. You need to at least come through for a few minutes. Everybody wants to be around him. And if he gets on social media, because y'all know Braden stays getting on social media, if he get on there and be like, man, guess who here? Everybody gonna come and do the most. So yeah. So that would be smart if he did. So he actually did show up. Jabari ended up meeting up with some fine, I don't know who that dude was. That man was fine with that beard. Woo child. Woo child. He was fine. But anyway, they was kind of going back and forth. And for some reason, they always bringing up Jabari and these books that he's written. And I'm just like, are we just going to keep on reliving the glory days? Because it seemed, the way that Carrie read him the last episode, it just seems like that book was like a pretty long time ago. And I'm just like, write a new one or get over it. Like, what is going on? Do not live and die and breathe for that one book. I don't know, but him and that dude was going back and forth, and while they were going back and forth at whatever little cafe or whatever this was where they was at, Tariq walked in, and I was looking like, why he there? So he looking around, and the professor see him, and he was like, excuse me. And so he ended up walking up on him. He was like, hi, he was like, what are you doing here? He was like, certain classmates told him that this is where he would be, and so he ended up bringing him the 25-page paper. Apologized and told him he would never be late again. Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that? Oh, okay. So anyway, Tariq's mama ended up calling him to give him the news that her efforts basically didn't pan out that well. And so it just is what it is. But maybe he can get through to her. And so he looking like, what you mean? How? And so she was just like, you have to make her listen. And so like for whatever reason, the first thing he said was, you want me to do something about it? Like what he said, he basically made it seem like you want me to kill her. He might as well have just said, you want me to kill her real quick? Because his mom was like, no, you don't need to handle that. And so she was just like, no, just go talk to her. Maybe you can convince her. Y'all know how he really be having people believe in everything he's saying and eating out the palm of his hand. Y'all saw how slick he was when he was lying to his dad day in and day out. I'm just saying, basically lying to everybody day in and day out in power. So I'm just saying, he could pull it off if you wanted to, if he tried hard enough. But anyway, so he ended up rolling up at Tamika's house trying to talk to her. And while they were in the middle of talking, Davis popped up, and Davis was like, look, I'm gonna need for you to just not testify. And so she looking like this is a really bad time. She kept saying it's a bad time. And so he looking at her like, is somebody in here? And so she was like, no. He was like, yeah, you must not lie that often, because I could tell by looking at your face that you're lying. He done bust up in the house. Tariq ended up having to go out some back door that led to a street. And so he was looking like, well, I guess you were telling the truth. And so she was like I said, it's not a good time. So he was like, look, the hearing is tomorrow. So, I mean, this is the only time we got to talk. So she looking like, okay. So anyway, they ended up cutting to a whole nother scene. So, I mean, I don't know what happened with that conversation, but we'll see the next time it airs, we shall see. So anyway, before Davis even came in there, he was trying to talk to her and say, I just need you to understand, I got to talk to you about something. I got to tell you something. And he told her that he saw Sax the night that his daddy got killed. And he was like, that also And I also would have to get up there. I probably would have to testify and tell you what else somebody didn't want to tell you. I never want to tell anybody. And that's that Tommy Egan killed my dad. And so she was like, yeah, your mama said the same thing already. And he was just like, I don't want to testify. And that's when they were, interrupted. So anyway, Braden ended up texting Tariq while he was outside of her house, talking about 911 Kappa house or something like that. Y'all, I was like, Tariq is dumb. Like, I understand you book smart, but you really got to be dumb. Why would you have a 911 page from a Kappa house and think there really was an emergency on your birthday of all days? First thing I would have thought was somebody finna do something party-wise, because first of all, I don't want to hear nobody try to say, well, maybe he was drunk or something like that. Nah, he probably would have been too drunk to even text any of that. So that didn't make no sense. He should have been able to infer easily that there was some kind of a surprise about to happen, but whatever. So he ended up coming. Riley's raggedy behind was there. She kept on asking him questions about Tariq. It got to the point where he was tired in his spirit of her. He was like, look, I ain't telling you nothing else about Tariq. Why are you so obsessed with him? Like he went all the way off on her. But this was the stupid part about it, this whole situation. The party was underway and all this whole exchange happened, and he had a cup in his hand, and he told her after he done went off on her and said, don't ever bring him up to me again because I'm not talking about nothing in regards to him no more. He gave her his cup and told her to fill it up with alcohol. As soon as he told her that, I was like, you dumb. I already knew it was going to be stupid. So she went over to the little punch bowl and put it looked like she put a half a bottle of pills up in the thing. I'm like, come on, nah, you doing too much, heifer. You trying to kill somebody. And then she put some alcohol over that. I was just like, girl, you doing a lot. But her thinking is, I'm going to kind of get him toe down, mess him up with these drugs, and I could probably get some information out of him. Little did she know that he was going to introduce her to another person that he went to school with, slip off and talked to Tariq and was like, see, I didn't think she was going to come, meaning Lauren. And, the heifer who actually has a whole boyfriend, he was actually in the middle of talking to Diana. And so she ended up coming over, and he was like, you might need this so you can loosen up for your birthday. Gave him the cup that this heifer spiked. She looking like a deer caught in headlights and looking real crazy, seeing what has happened. And I'm like, how you gonna get the cup out of his hand, heifer, how? So anyway, yeah, it was very unexpected that Diana was gonna come to the party. Drew showed up, and the dude that he had slept with, he tried to roll up on him and give him a little hug. That man looked at him like, yeah, what's up, my nigga? And I was just like, sir, you doing the most up in here. And Drew was very upset because in that moment, he already knew that this dude was not open about his sexuality. And I'm like, I figured that he knew that already, but who am I? But yeah, he didn't know that. So anyway, y'all, Drew tied in his spirit. He ain't got time for it. Carrie and Jabari are talking. And he has writer's block really, really bad. Like, he on his laptop looking up shoes instead of actually trying to brainstorm and see, look up things that might be inspirational or something. And so they get to talking, and he is basically like, hey, let's go to this spot, this fish spot I used to like going to. And you know what I'm saying? Talking about he wanted to try to get some inspiration. And you can tell the inspiration he talking about for the most part was having some sex with her in the midst of all these activities that they was going to do. And she was just like, I can't do it. I'm not going to give in to you again. You're going to have to find another story, because he feels as though because the first book did so well, and he was like, my publicist, my manager cried when they read the book. And she was like, I read it too. And I cried too. And he really thought he had her, but she was like, what we not finna do is this. It's over. I'm not going to be sucked in by you again. Y'all, so back to the party. Diana and Tariq talking. I already told y'all about that. So anyway, this heifer done laced his drink with drugs. I just cannot believe this. She might as well have put a half a pill bottle of drugs in that cup. That's how much she put in there, in my opinion. Anyway, Professor Milgram and Zeke are at some nice little restaurant. He rolled up after, he left, because he left the party early or whatever. And I don't know how he knew she was there. I don't know what was going on, but he was like, Professor Milgram, how you doing or whatever? Ooh, you look nice with glasses on. All I got to say is, y'all go put some respect. Y'all go put some respect on us who wear spectacles, honey. Y'all go put some respect on it. Because a lot of us who aren't doing it as a fashion statement, we actually look cute. You know what I'm saying? We actually look cute with or without the glasses on, honey. With or without the glasses on. So, I'm just saying, he said it all. We was talking about how nice he was like, oh, I didn't know you wore glasses. I'm like, yes, you better put some respect on them glasses, sir. But anyway, Jabari is calling this entire time because they actually start a conversation. They're talking for a long amount of time from what I can gather. And he was calling over and over and over and over and over and over again. Y'all, Tariq ended up drinking a whole cup of alcohol. He was in Braden's brother's room, and Lauren was in there, which is the girl he go to school with, and they were talking, and he tried to kiss her, and she was just like, no, not like this. I wanted to be special, and because he was toe down, and she thinking that he is just toe down drunk, but he's not. She told him he was a lightweight and everything, but he actually was drugged. And it just got to a point where he literally passed out. So she left the room, closed the door, and Riley has been lurking around trying to follow his every move so that she can seize her opportunity, y'all. She done went in the room, closed the door, and we later find out that when she searched his pockets and got his phone and did whatever it is she did, because see, I'm not an iPhone user, I'm not none of these, I don't know what kind of phone it was he had, I'm guessing it's an iProduct of some sort. And she did something where his location would be able to be known to her in connection to her phone as well. But anyway, his brother came in the room, was mad because he actually saw that raggedy heifer walk out the room thinking that he done got a piece of it, and he didn't. He done kicked him out of the room. He drunk, toe all the way down. He tried to roll up on her. She wasn't trying to hit. Y'all, the most was going on. Professor Milgram and Zeke was doing they busted wide open, told him to bring it back. I was just like, yes, you better get some of that young. Get some of that young in your life. Get some of that young. Get some of that youngin' in your life, girl. And I mean, I feel like she is maybe at least 10 years older than him. At least 10 to 15 years older than him. You'll be surprised. Some of these young people know exactly what they're doing, and it would make you question where they learned it from. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. Sorry. But anyway. Y'all. So after he got kicked out of the room, he is stumbling through the party trying to leave, and then he goes outside, and at the front door on the steps, he sees Diana. And he sits down, toe down, trying to talk to her. What you doing here? Why are you out here by yourself? And so she basically was like, I'm just staying out of the way. And then she spots his gun and takes it and puts it in her purse. And I'm like, why are you taking his gun? Unless you're doing it because you feel like he might harm himself on accident because he's so toe down, then I'm not understanding why you took his gun. It's stupid. Bruh. I'm tired of my spirit. Y'all, when I tell y'all I screamed at the television when this part happened, I was done. I'm done with you, Jabari. You might be fine, but I'm done with you. The paper. He was going over Tariq's paper. And as he finished the last line, he gonna pull up his computer screen, think about it, and start typing word for word what Tariq put down in his paper. I was like, what we not finna do is plagiarize. You over here writing this boy's whole paper as your book? This is what we do. I'm tired. I was so, y'all understand how loud I was yelling at the TV. So I don't understand why my phone cut off. I think my phone was tied too. Like, I feel like my phone was tied. Like, my phone is fully charged. I think my phone was tied too. But anyway, I can't believe, I was just like, Jabari, come on now. You're really that desperate that you over here plagiarizing? I'm tired. But anyway, y'all. Whew. So anyway, since Riley did what she did to be able to find the location of Tariq, you know, as if she's his friend or something, she ended up telling her uncle where he is at that moment. Y'all, he's so told down. He done went to Raina's grave, which I understood because it's their birthday. So he went and he said, I felt like killing Ray Ray would make me feel better, but it didn't. I really miss you. I wish it could have been me. It should have been me. And like, he really was over here just going off about how everything went. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people who watched Power said and screamed at the TV and said, yes, it should have been you. A lot of people cannot stand Tariq, and it kills me every time. Then he politely went next door, like a stumble and a half, and went off on his daddy. And yeah, and basically confessed to doing everything that he did and said you wouldn't stay out of the way. And I was just like, bro, why is we saying this out loud? I'm pretty sure you loud and on what. And what is going on? Of course, Saxe is in the bushes, basically behind a tree, behind a tombstone, a couple of tombstones away, recording the whole situation. I was so done, y'all. So tired. So anyway, Brayden and Tariq got into it over last night's situation because upon him leaving, he, you know, actually went off on Brayden, and Brayden was actually, you know, trying to be nice to him, and he didn't even remember what happened. And so he was like, you owe me an apology, man. And he was like, for what? And so anyway, y'all, he was like, look, I need to keep it real with you because the most been going on in my life. You don't know everything, and I gotta keep it real with you. He actually told the truth. He told the whole truth for once in his life. I don't know why. But he told him all about Monet and his family, and he described all of the family members as far as what they are considered to be with as far as chess pieces are concerned. But he straight up told him, if any of these people show up to the house, of course, with the exception of Lorenzo because he's in prison, to knock over one of the pieces. But if something way worse happens in relation to all of this, and people come by or whatever situation is, knock the whole board over. And so, like, if he's not around to let him know what's going on because he disappears, then he come in the room and see that he'll already know what it's hidden for. And he was just like, okay, I'm glad. See, this is what I'm talking about. Brayden was so happy because despite Riley being trash and doing all this on behalf of her uncle, everything that she'd been saying, he basically was repeating. He was like, man, you keep disappearing. I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know what to say. Da, 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 da. And so he straight up told him, you know, it's best that you don't know where I disappear and go to. Like, a lot of stuff is going on. I'm into all kinds of stuff. And so he was like, man, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm here with you. Why can't you let me in on some stuff? Because I would be able to, like, at this point, I don't even know what to say. If police or anybody come knocking, I don't know what to say. But yeah, y'all, Tariq showed up at Monique's house. Y'all, Monet asked which one of her children is the most trustworthy. He said him. This fool said himself, and Monet was here for the answer. I was like, oh my gosh, y'all. And Kane was standing right there. And he looked over at Kane. Then he looked at Monet and was like, me. Like, he said it so confidently. I was done. I was like, wait, y'all. I was so done. I rewound that like 3 times. I was tired. Y'all, Davis and Saxe, they're talking. And of course, Saxe played the recording. And he was like, man, you know that's going to be admissible in court. He was like, yeah, maybe, but you know, it is what it is. And we can all, you know, we can all have this understanding that we know that Tasha is not the person who killed Ghost, but we both know who did. So Davis was like, okay, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to win this case with Tasha and get her off, send her home. Then me and you are going to team up together and we're going to put Tariq in jail because he is the person who got killed. And Saxe asked him, "Do you agree on this?" And they both agreed. And I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm tired of my spirit." I mean, at this point, Davis is like, "Look, I'm not finna ever start having losses. Ain't nobody got time. Like, if it is what it is, I gotta go where I gotta go and do what I gotta do, even if I gotta do a deal with the devil." Y'all, I was done. So yeah, they plan on working together to put Tariq in prison, y'all. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hope y'all enjoyed this recap review. A lot happened, so I'm sorry that it was so long, but I really like to cover as much of this as possible. Anyway, y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all later on.